Hey all you heroes out there, and welcome back to Hell Yeah Gaming, where I am your professional protagonist, and today we got a surprise trailer drop from Software for the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Second trailer, first one was gameplay. Here is a story trailer, which I am very excited for. I have already viewed it, and I have looked into some more information. When I did my initial reaction and analysis of the first trailer, I kind of went in a little bit more blind than I should have. Like, I didn't even read the description on the video for that trailer and ended up kind of making some false assumptions with information that we already had provided. This time, however, there was no such accompanying interviews or description information to be had. So I'm going to just, kind of skim along through here, point out things, give my thoughts, and we will see where things take us from there. And before I jump right on in and get started, I want to go ahead and make a quick announcement that, hey, this is the first video published since I have an editor currently. Jerred, say hi, however you choose to do so. Right. Let's all welcome him. Hope that we have a fantastic hell yeah time, and I hope to make a good, long, and solid working relationship together. But let's get on in, take a look at the trailer, see what we can figure out.
Miquella the Kind spoke of the beginning.
So right off the bat here, we have what is clearly Marika's hand reaching into some kind of cloth. We can see the folds. We can see some of the stitching here. We know it's Marika. We know it's Marika's hand due to the bangle bracelet that she wears. Is consistent with every other depiction that we've seen of her. There is quite a lot of gore and awful around. Just, we can see piles of it right now, and just all these guts right on over here. She's reaching in there for something, which...
the seduction and the betrayal.
So she pulls out some kind of golden strands. So this look like they could be, threads or hair or something of some kind. Very interesting. Now, of course, we have our current narrator saying that, Miquella is this. So this seems to be from Miquella's perspective, or his own personal viewpoint. What he's heard, what he knows, as it seems. Now, with that in mind there, any amount of this could end up being just unreliable, false narration. Because of that, anytime that we are relying on the thoughts and viewpoints of someone else, it is always possible that that is going to be a flawed perspective. Now, that being said, there is... Now, what was the exact words here again?
The seduction and the betrayal.
Seduction and betrayal. A lot of people now I've been seeing have been comparing this to like a birth or a womb. Now, I don't think it's unfair to say that there is definitely like visual imagery meant to evoke that, but I don't think there's anything here that would really lead me to take that literally. But since this DLC is supposed to tell the story of how Marika became a god and the birth of the Golden Order, I think that that's a very fair visual imagery to associate with. But again, I'm not sure what we can say is under these folds. I don't think that Marika is pulling these golden strands from an actual womb. Now, I have seen other people make the comparison that this cloth looks like it could be from the Godskinners, in which case that would then associate the birth of the Golden Order with the Gloam-Eyed Queen, which is a whole other can of worms that I don't think I'm really prepared to open right now.
And the betrayal.
Now, the seduction and betrayal there is very interesting. I mean, it's definitely not out of the question for Marika. That's very in line of how she's been before, what she's done. She's come to these lands that's going to become the Shadowlands. That is her first time she steps foot into the lands between, as a Newman woman who comes from some outside realm. And is that indicating that Marika made herself endeared to the people here and then a Hark betrayal? Or is this one of those situations where we want to try to flip it around? Maybe she's the one who is seduced and betrayed. There is every possibility that whatever force the greater will was using to maintain order here, it was decided, we're going to go with this lady as a new Empyrean, and thus kind of called out to her, seduced her to be the new Empyrean and take up the god status. Now here Marika is climbing these steps that is covered in guts. Very disgusting, very metal as hell. I love this imagery here. It's very much, she's literally climbing atop the bodies of those that she's stepped on to get to where she is, kind of imagery. Now, I want to know if these are actual the remnants of the result of her war, or is this just kind of what the place is like? Because in FromSoft games, you never really know for sure. It could just be a fleshy place.
An affair from which gold arose.
Yes, an affair from which gold arose, which is kind of going back to what I was saying before. Is Marika the one who did such, or was it the greater will seducing her to this? Now, the first thing that I thought of as soon as I saw this image going through the trailer originally, it's still very clearly Marika. She's there in her shirtless glory. There's her bangles and whatnot. The first thing that popped into my head was that these weren't so much golden strands as they were her creating the baldachin that enshrouds the land of shadows, that keeps it separated from the same physical plane as the lands between. And from there, I started thinking, because and just out there for people who may not be totally aware, the baldachin is those big draperies that are often in royal bedchambers. There's baldachins over Marika's bed in the palace in Lanedale, and there is also famously the baldachin's blessing that you receive from Fia, the deathbed companion, when she embraces you, which led me to start thinking that there might be some more connections there between Marika or the Newman people and the deathbed companions, since we know that is the deathbed companionship is a culture or a rite that originated outside of the lands between. So maybe that was something that was originally part of Newman culture. However, on closer inspection, I did see this isn't creating the physical baldachin through by pulling on the fabric of space or whatever. These are the golden strands that she pulled from that sack or womb or whatever you want to call it. However, that does not necessarily mean that they aren't one and the same. The golden strands, creating the veil. And thus, we see probably the single... Oh, there's a lot of hardcore images in this trailer, but wow, that's a lot of bodies. A ton of bodies. And it would certainly appear that between these two towers of corpses, the it's as though it's creating an entirely new space from what's around it. Considering we have, it's very dark. It's twilight on the right side and on the left side, but then boom, big golden sunrise, like right in between. I've seen many people theorizing at this point that this may be the crucible or the original great tree, and then this was Marika creating the Erdtree from that, and I have to say possible. I not 100% in love with that idea that these mounds of corpses are the crucible, or the great tree, but it's not something that I could readily discount. So too was Shadowborn. There we go. So gold and Shadowborn together.
What followed was a war
what
unseen.
This tells me, what follows was a war unseen, was that whatever happened to pull this area from the lands between and shove it into the land of shadows, or to separate them physically from one another, was that act that Marika did right there. And then she unleashed her army, started this war to eradicate everyone there. A war that could never be put to song. So there's two ways that one could look at that. One being this was a war in the shadows that no one saw. Therefore, you can't put, it's an event stricken from history. No one witnessed it. You can't put it to song. The other is that it was just too horrific. There was no glory in it. There was nothing valorous about it, which I think is definitely supported by the lines that we're about to see right now. Or to hear right now. You can't see the lines. A purge without grace or honor. And there's our boy. There's Messmer the Impaler right there, standing up top, commanding what appears to be snakes of fire, which is badass as hell. I love that. Everything about Messmer has had me mesmerized. From the beginning. I am very much in love with this guy. Now, originally I was thinking that, Messmer was probably another child of Marika and Radagon. So basically, just Marika, as they are the same person, just like Miquella and Melania. However, what this kind of flies in the face of that, because Marika and Radagon's children did not come until after Godfrey was banished. And Godfrey wasn't banished until Marika had completely taken over the lands between and established the Golden Order. And the Erdtree was the thing for everyone. And even before Miquella and Melania, there was also Radagon's children with Rennala. And this would, of course, be Marika's first war upon arriving at the lands between. Logically speaking, chronologically, she pulls the place to the land of shadow, and then engages in this war, which means that Messmer was already active at this time, pre-Godfrey, pre-Radagon. So this is fascinating to me. Messmer is now, in my opinion, the first of the demigods, the original. And I had an idea before that I kind of discounted in the first trailer as I thought about it more, that, the whole snakes are considered to be heretical with the Erdtree, and then I ended up dismissing that. Well, the idea I had was that the whole reason for that is because of Messmer. And his fire and everything around that. But I dismissed it because the Colosseums, which were popular in Godfrey's time, involved gladiators slaying snakes or snake imagery beasts for that very reason. And I was, at that point, I was like, well, Messmer, almost certainly being a child of Radagon, could not then be the original source of the snakes being heresy, because that came after Godfrey's time in the Colosseums. The Colosseums were shut down by then. But now I think we can go back to that originally and be like, yeah, actually, Messmer could very well be the original source of why snakes and serpents are considered heretical. And of course, we have the giant wicker men down there as well. They're part of Messmer's army. Messmer at this point definitely seems to be working with Marika to do this purge, to do this great genocide in the Land of Shadows, which, makes sense. All of her children did worship her, but Messmer seems to have fallen off at some point. Seems like he was left in the Land of Shadows. My theory here is that Messmer is responsible for burning the Great Tree, which is what led to all sources of fire are considered heresy, snakes are considered heresy. Maybe just like how... Oh. Hi, Sneakers! Oh, we got the puppy here. Puppy is getting involved now. We love you, don't we? Everybody loves Sneakers. Sneakers in the USA. Mwah. Good boy. So, or perhaps just like how you, the player, the Tarnished, had to commit the first cardinal sin of burning the Erdtree to gain entry to become Elden Lord, so too did Marika have to have the Great Tree burned in order to enter and become the new Empyrean god. And who better to do this than Messmer? But the Great Tree, even if it was remade into the Erdtree, is still the central pillar of the worship of both pre-Marika and post-Marika. So I believe that whether or not Marika told Messmer this would be the case, he ended up being Satanized for the act of burning the Great Tree to allow her entry. That is my current thought process.
The tyranny of
so this figure right here, I am not sure what to make of it. Some people are thinking Glow-Eyed Queen. I don't know if they have a case to that. A lot of people are really bringing up Glow-Eyed Queen and God Skinners. I think that their connections are tenuous at best, but I'm certainly all for it. This individual, again, not a clue. No idea. But we got our Chinese lion dance costume fighting here. These creatures are different, as I pointed out before. They are absolutely of the omens, of the crucible, where all life is mixed together. And we know from interviews. I want to stop it right there because, oh my god, I love that. I love that image right there. Oof, beautiful. We know from the interviews and such that the Land of Shadows, the culture there pre-Marika and everything, was very much pro-omen. It was very omen-centric and beast friendly. Sneakers. Get down from there. Trying to get up on my shelves, silly pup. So it makes sense that this great purge involves killing all of these guys. Now, that's as it goes leaping up over here towards Messmer. Messmer, he gives no fricks. He does not care one iota. Now, before I was wondering, what made Messmer's flame unique? Because every fire that we've seen has had something unique to it. The frenzied flame of madness is a bright yellow, induces madness. The fell flame was this deep red, which Messmer's also seems to be. Then the formless mother's blood flame that comes from omen blood. I was trying to figure out what's the deal with Messmer's? Does he use the fell flame? Is this a brand new one? What makes it unique? It just kind of looks like others. But I think I have set upon this flame is a living thing and is like the embodiment of his serpents. It could also be dragon related, since he's got a lot of Drake imagery as well. Living up to his name as the Impaler, we got all of these omen beasts and creatures just, oh god. He definitely took some inspiration from good old Vlad Tepes Dracula. I love his just being like on that spear. Now, this right here is something that I really cannot, for the life of me, figure out whatsoever. Where this castle, the building, the rubble just seems to be like floating up into this deformed tree. So, as I said before, like my thought process is that great tree burned by Messmer. However, this could just be the shadow of the Erdtree as we know it. Just as the Erdtree was created with, golden light, so too exists that light's shadow, alternate dimension counterpart sort of deal. Which, if we go back to the Elden Beast layer in the Erdtree, we see, dozens or if not hundreds of Erdtrees like in the distance. There could be so many like alternate timelines or alternate universes or something involved in that. But so this is, I'm thinking, great tree burned, or the alternate shadow dimensional counterpart of the Erdtree here. And the more we kind of look at this, when we just got individual still images, you could be like, oh, that's grace, or that's like gold-colored sap getting bled out of this tree. But now that we're seeing it in motion in video, or rather not in motion when everything else is moving around it, it looks like more like the same kind of golden threads that Marika pulled from the sac or womb or whatever. So that I'm very interested to see like kind of where that goes. I'm thinking more, like strands of fate kind of thing. And now we're getting some more like hopeful and inspirational music.
And so kindly Miquella would abandon
these shots that we're going to be
everything.
seeing here, I think pretty clearly this is supposed to be Miquella's Great Rune. We're going to be seeing multiples of these dotted around. The general consensus I've seen people coming up with, which I tend to fully agree with, is that these are basically our new sites of grace. Sites of grace are something that was created by Marika to guide us. However, Marika doesn't want us here. This land of shadows is devoid of grace entirely. So our spots are going to be left by Miquella, and they're going to be like shards of his great rune, or fragments of his own power, his own golden light. If we abandon everything.
And so kindly Miquella would abandon everything.
Come on. The next part, Lucy Meg. His golden flesh, blinding strength.
His golden flesh,
So,
his blinding strength.
Before we get into this shot, which I'm definitely very much interested in talking about, divested himself of his golden flesh and his blinding strength. We know that there is going to be a new level up mechanic for this DLC, so that things are kind of more even footing for people who have either late game or mid game, whenever they get access to it. People who are like very end game stuff don't just steamroll over the DLC, and everyone can be put on an even playing field. We also know that FromSoft likes to make their game mechanics justified in universe. So I'm thinking that this more beat boss kid powered up leveled kind of system that was put into place more with Sekiro before. I think that the bosses we defeat here will have pieces of Miquella's golden strength, or his body that he has divested himself from, and that is our level up, or our power up mechanic. Actually, Miquella's actual body or power. Now, one might then ask, but what about Miquella's body in the cocoon in Mogwin Palace. Like, what's up, then what about that? To which I say, that could just be, another fragment, or, as many people have theorized, that's not actually Miquella at all. We will see. Now, even his fate. And this lighting is very indicative of Saint Trina. Again, we know Saint Trina to be Miquella. One of the more recent interviews that Miyazaki put out did say that he's not going to be direct with the connection of Miquella and Saint Trina, but we can consider them separate existences. There's been a theory going around from a YouTuber named Tim Diggity that Saint Trina and Miquella have the same relationship as Marika Radagon, the same person sharing a body but different personalities, and that Saint Trina is Melina. I've actually also had this theory for quite some time, and we had the exact same viewpoints and supporting details and evidence as well. I just, don't normally make these kinds of theory videos, but to that end, I think why would we say divesting himself from his fate and then showing what seems to be very Saint Trina coded imagery here, individual. I absolutely 100% believe that that means that he separated himself physically as well from Saint Trina, who I also believe is Melina, yes. And thus we have two spiritual beings kind of out there right now. Since we also know that Melina has a spiritual body and not a physical one. Wink, wink. We can't see the face here, but we got a long veil blocking it. Again, just to say that to access this place and do what he wants to accomplish in the Shadowlands, he has completely separated himself. We are not detoured, no! So this is very clearly a follower of Miquella who's been, choose to follow. So very clearly followers of Miquella who were doing this narration. Now, to that end, where it says we choose to follow, that seems to indicate to me, look, we got the shadow veil, the baldachin. That tells me that Miquella embarked on this journey all on his own, with no intention of bringing anyone with him, having any followers, but the people love Miquella so much that they came anyway. And poor Melania was unconscious for however many hundreds of years after that fight with Radon. And that just seems to be, inviting you, the player, the tarnished. Could even be the same person who offers you to touch the hand in Mogwin Palace to be transported to the Shadowlands. And June 21st! Yes! Yes! So excited! Oh, I'd have to do live unboxing with it and everything. And so, that is everything that we have seen. Those are most of my thoughts on the new story trailer. I definitely have a lot more that I could go into, but I think that this has gone on long enough, and we want to make sure that we kind of get this out. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I hope that you're just as excited as I am. And remember, on every Thursday, I live stream, and for a lot of those, I've been playing Elden Ring to get ready for this. If you want to see Confessor Cromwell from Fallout 3 go through burning things in the name of Atom, then tune in on Thursdays so we can prepare for the Shadow of the Erdtree. So, and I think that just about covers everything that I have to say. And I've got a dog crying for some attention, so I need to give that to him. So hopefully that you are just as excited and you are able to give this a great big hell yeah!